what was your high and your low? I will go first since it was my idea. My high was just the break, just the break in and of itself. And I just want you to that Medi Workman needs a tight 12 hours every night. That boy could, like, one day I just said, let him go. Let's just let him go and see how long. It was almost 1 p.m.
Oh my God.
Bless the Lord.
And he just rolled over. He's like, it is. I'm like, it's afternoon. Like, we've always known, like, he could just sleep for days. And so that was a funny experiment that we did. We had a lot of downtime. The Eagles won a game yesterday that almost caused me to stroke out in my own
That was
living
crazy
room.
pants.
That was insanity. But we had a lot of, like, downtime at home, then some things that we did together. We just really were together, like, as a family, which with our adjustments and schedules over the fall was really good and helpful. The low was that we still own a house in Pennsylvania, and we woke up New Year's Day to the news that it had flooded.
Oh, no.
The finished basement flooded, and so that was like a 5 a.m. wake up call to be like. So there's quite a bit of damage, and we have limited insurance, so we're trying to figure out like what we're going to get, what we're going to have to actually pay. And the good news is that we have really great tenants who have a lot of stuff, and I don't think they want to move. So, you know, you can kind of be like, well, we're out, like, we don't want to, but they send us pictures of the damage, and they have a lot of things. Many, many, many things, and they're old, so I don't think they want to move at all. So they just want us to fix it. So we have to look into all of that, but this house has been a source of stress for me ever since we moved here. So I'm kind of praying that at the end of their lease, we can maybe move to a rent-to-own situation, because I just want to be done with it. We aren't those people who, like, own houses everywhere. Like, that ain't us. We're just like, no, we just need one that we live in. That's all we need, and that's just on us. But that was my high. That was my low. I'm gonna share this with you because I need accountability. I am on a 21-day. It reminds me of you. This 21-day, like, total detox. I'm on day 4. And oh my gosh, you guys, I have problems. I am realizing this about myself, how often I eat when I'm not hungry. And you don't realize that till you go on something that's like, it lets you get hungry. And then you're like, oh, I just would just eat, and I think about food way too much. So it's some inner work. It's a sugar-free, dairy-free, nut-free,
Oil-free?
Diet Dr. Pepper-free. No, we are allowed to have olive oil because the Lord is good to me. The first day was a full-blown fast. Listen, I just need to talk to Jesus about that 40 days. I'm trying to figure out how he done did that because, so anyway, that's my, I decided to do this because this was called a challenge. And just the word challenge, I was like, oh, I'm doing, because if it was called a program, I'd be like, no, but it was like, this is a 21-day challenge. I'm like, oh, okay. And all of a sudden I'm in and I'm doing it. And I have a lot of regrets, but I'm sticking with it. So if I seem cranky, it's not you. If I'm irritable, it's probably not your fault. It could be, but it also could be compounded. So that's my update. But I want to hear your highs and lows and what was fun, and yeah, I guess you have to go.
Okay.
Sorry, Pop.
My high, I think I just had fun. Like, I went to San Francisco, had a lot of friends, like, time to catch up with, like, friends that I haven't seen in a while. Went to the beach. It was really fun. I think my low was that I realized that, like, I had a lot of time to, like, spend thinking about myself.
And Amber doesn't think.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean I don't mean that how it sounded. No. Right?
Yeah, I don't like to do that.
No, I don't mean she doesn't think.
The next 3 weeks is already
She doesn't. She does. Like, she gets stuff done, but she doesn't then internalize and.
Yeah.
We've talked about it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just realized that, like, I have a lot of, like, self-work to do, so, and, like, growing up and all that fun stuff.
I'm proud of
It's
you.
like a low and a high.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I don't want to do it, but
That's good.
Were you in San Francisco?
No, we came back on New Year's,
Michelle.
or 2 days before, because my boyfriend had to work. So.
And her boyfriend won $1,000 on a scratcher.
Oh yeah, that was cool too.
Oh,
Yeah.
second person, who's your boyfriend?
Austin.
Oh, I'm like, you're the straight person.
It's the same one.
Same person.
I've been yeah, second person this week who's won $1,000 in stretchers.
Yeah,
We should get scratchers.
Somebody wants to buy the scratcher.
That was funny. My sister-in-law's a 3, so she's like all bragging that she won $5, and then he was the last one to get there. So he started scratching it. He's like, I thought you guys were messing with me until I saw the disappointment on Maddie's face that I was like, I beat her. He said, that's when I knew I was real.
That's awesome.
I too got to rest much, which was good. The low was that Cheryl was sick for the entire break. But the high for me is that I got to just hang out because she didn't have all of these things we needed to do. Bless the Lord. And so I literally got to rest, like just take care of my sick wife and my darling children, and then they are, and then just like watch Netflix shows and
I
read books
know.
and do nothing.
Guys, we have to talk about Evil Genius, but now is not the time.
Yeah.
But we have to.
It's so good.
I love it.
Yeah.
You and Kendra have like the same watch history. Like every time you bring up a show, I'm like,
No, here's what I have to tell you. Okay, so I forget what night it was. It might have been right before break. It was the Sunday before Christmas Eve. I had wrapped presents, and I was like, I'm gonna watch one Hallmark movie, like one mindless Christmas cheesy Hallmark movie. It was such a painful 2 hours. Like I was like, come on. That I couldn't even stand it.
why
So
did
then
you
I'm
make
like,
that decision?
because it was like I'm wrapping presents. I'm like in the spirit. And so I went straight from that into this show on Netflix called The Staircase about this real life murder, and that's like so much more up my alley. I'll talk to Kendra later.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh, dude.
Sorry. I'm like, this is where I live. This is what I love.
I
Like,
know
it-
it's gonna
Home
be
and
debrief
she's
group.
sitting in her blanket just like, oh my god. She's like, I gotta tell you all this stuff. I'm like, I don't need
Oh
to
my
know
gosh,
that.
Adam and I listen to podcasts about like unsolved mysteries all the time. It's like we get in a car, I'm like, I don't know. Do you think it? That's where we live. But anyway, sorry.
Was that food?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that's
that's
Popcorn.
imaginary because she can't eat it, so she's just
I just
pretending.
pretend. I sit there like this would be popcorn. Sorry.
Banger.
My high and low is like the same. I just got to rest a ton, but I was sick the whole time, the whole break. Still kind of not feeling great. So I had big plans and ideas and hopes and dreams that just never came to fruition. But it was kind of like good because I probably wouldn't have chosen the amount of rest that I actually got, and I think I really needed that. And the more that I spent time just like in that place of like doing nothing and actually taking care of my body and my heart, like realizing like how much I really needed that. And so it was just really good and sweet to like God met me there in my dying of coughing and kind of moments. Just
So much. One that when she posted send ice cream, I'm like,
She's like,
don't
"No,
ask for
don't."
ice cream. Dairy's not your friend right now. She's
I
like,
didn't eat any ice cream. I didn't eat any ice cream all break.
good, Danielle. Thank you.
Took care of my body.
Make up for it.
But I think that's a bummer because I feel like I did all the things.
It's we do all the things.
I'm still not.
Mm.
I did a detox because I was like, shoot, like I'm gonna get rid of whatever it is, but it's hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, this virus is pretty bad.
Yeah.
This is my hand.
I think my high is kind of sentiment the same. Just the rest was so good, and I kept telling Dan, I said, you know, when you go on vacation, like you know that there's stuff still happening, like a lot of stuff still happening, and I have FOMO, and so it's like, what am I missing, and what, you know, but like even though like church was still happening, but everybody was kind of in this united season of like kind of shut things off for the most part, and so that felt like I felt like I could just really enjoy even just sit down kind of a little bit more.
Mm.
So yeah, just lots of. I watched more than one cheesy Hallmark movie. This is the first Christmas I've ever done Hallmark movies. I think I've probably watched like 5 or 6.
I'm not against it. I just
There was
couldn't
one
bear
that was
it.
like a
Essentially the
series.
same thing,
It was
right?
called like
It's a different
I don't know.
Basically.
They had to show you.
They I felt very nostalgic this year. So my low was when I was taking down the Christmas tree, and this is what happens when your kids get big and you start to like go through season changes. You just start to leak and cry in these moments where don't resist it. It's good because God like helps you pre-grieve.
Pay attention, Matt Ritchie.
Oh, I'm a long
This is
way
our-
from that.
No, I mean,
You're low.
it's all kinds of different
I got some time to go.
That
But as I was
nest is
taking down
full.
Christmas decorations, I was like, so Nathan is in his second semester of his senior year. So I was like, this time next year, when I set up my tree, he probably won't be here. He might be in college. When I take down my tree, he may. I was just like,
Oh.
everything's gonna be so different, like this time next year, like just different, radically different. And not that that's bad, it's just different. And so I was, and on our Christmas tree, we have like the bold ornaments, and then we have like special ornaments the kids have had, throughout growing up their whole life.
And my
And
needs
so-
to have some, like, the whole tree is, like, decked out with, like, ornaments from 20 years ago.
So every ornament you take down as a
Right.
memory of like
It's
Christmas,
story.
Christmas,
Yep.
It's an Ebenezer
soccer
tree.
ball.
It is.
And then I have all my sandals ornaments for 14 years of being. I don't know. I was a hot mess on like January 2nd. We took the tree down, but it was like a low, but it was also it was a high.
You guys are
We
getting
only
closer to
breathe that
opening your
much air.
vineyard.
That was me. What'd you say?
I said you and Dan are getting closer to opening your vineyard. Let's go ahead.
That's your retirement.
Is that? Oh, that's our spiritual formation retreat center vineyard. Yeah, that's
Yes.
gonna be. It's not gold.
Amen. Yes, please.
Your goals.
My low is that I didn't get to rest. We moved and with Woodcrest opening, we were asked to do some more work days in the vacation and just lent to not resting. And then my high was the soft launch yesterday was really cool. It was, it was just not even what I was expecting. Like there's obviously hype around it, but the community just like really showed up, and for Woodcrest there was a lot of energy, so that was cool, and I'm just excited to see where it goes from here. But
Cool.
My high is that Trey is now saying words in English, not just in Indonesian. So that's helpful for me. So that was fun seeing that. And low is that I didn't get rest. We're packing. That's
My low is that I didn't get rest just because I'm dumb and I stayed up late like all the time. Like
because I'm done.
Miles went to sleep and Kendra and I were just like, no, we're gonna stay up. But it was fun. I just realized you get to the end of it, I'm like, oh yeah, I should have did that. But it was great because we hosted for Christmas this year, and we've never been able to do that. We were barely able to do that this year because our family's big. But just seeing like Miles actually, like we drive down the street and every single house with the lights just look, and like actually got to hang. He like hung an ornament on the tree and was all so excited, and just seeing all that stuff with him and having like our whole family, like both sides in the house, is just super cool. Christmas.
That's awesome. That age of where they're like not just blobs, you know what I'm saying? Where they just eat and poop, and they have like personality. It's like it's fun.
I'm glad that Trey would put it on, and because we clapped, he would take it off and would put it on.
He's like, I can do this all day.
There are more. Let's put,
Was he chucking them?
yes, like
Mom
we,
was trying that
at
one.
the bottom of our tree, we just had a bunch that he would just throw into the tree.
We had to put all the candy cans at the very top because he realized they weren't just for decoration. Because my Uncle Harvey giving him a can. What the heck, dude?
I
Like,
just really do that.
he's the one uncle that he's constantly like pouring like soda down. So they were like, Harvey, why? Like, stop it, leave him alone.
Ellington would just put like ornament after ornament on the same branch. so it's like this like cluster of grapes almost. Like just one thing. Like, hey guys, let's try. Then I got to the point where I'm like, yeah, the tree's gonna look like it looks like. I don't really care that the whole backside that's facing the window doesn't have ornaments. Great job, guys.
He went to sleep.
That was my saving grace every year for this year. Adam's like, we're getting that revolving tree stand.
What?
Yeah. Yes.
These are the
For
black
all the
trees,
remodeling
ornaments
yes.
where we
Like, is it
Adam-
motorized?
Adam, oh yes, and Adam
Oh,
had to
no.
have it. So we had, but it made taking
Hold on, what?
ornaments off easy because I would go, okay, turn it on, turn it off, okay, turn it back on. Yeah,
Wait,
Adam-
how much they sell them?
How does the light cable not get like twisted up and stuff?
Is it a fake tree?
Oh,
I'm sorry,
always.
I wonder if
Oh,
it
yes.
has like
Oh,
face.
It's like the base they go through the base?
And the
That
light's
makes sense, I
already
guess.
on there.
It's
Light's
like
already
a
on the
radio.
tree,
Yeah.
so it's pre-lit, artificial. I don't mess with anything
Yeah.
in nature, and then we just, it just spins.
I like that.
Mess with anything in
No,
nature.
you stay out there, we'll stay in
Oh,
here,
yeah.
everything will be fine. So you're high and you're low.
I mean, similarly, like we just didn't go anywhere or do much of anything, which was nice. But probably the biggest high was being able to. We attended church together on a Sunday, which hasn't happened since the twins have been born.
Two of them.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 in a row actually ended up being. Sorry,
That was such a deal.
but yeah. So we went to Palm both Sunday mornings as a family, like, and Brittany would just look over while we're driving together. I can just tell she's like, 'cause it's been really hard for her to be a single mom with 5 kids, taking them to church every week.
Sounds
So-
like a lifetime.
Yeah, something we're trying to figure out a situation for that in
That's a
2019.
home.
But that was really special, and it was special like how much it meant to her and to just be with my kids and how much they love going to Palm specifically. It's like their home campus, and like they just love being there. We don't have to fight them, which is nice.
I feel like the childcare at Palm is like extra awesome,
It's really good.
even for the babies.
Yeah. Trey loves it. Especially when he's on the
No, I'm not saying it's bad anywhere. I'm just saying it's extra good there.
Oh.
It's great. It's great everywhere.
Yeah.
What we're actually
We're
saying,
really,
All
you
sandals
know,
fit
we are
Sounds
so
so
grateful
great.
for everything that you
know
guys
my wife
do.
works, right?
Marina Valley's the other place they like. My kids like to go, so it's good.
I'm kidding.
I wasn't putting anyone down.
No, Morgan, you spoke truth and we receive it.
The low was probably sickness again as well. Like day after Christmas, like 4 out of 5 kids had a cold, and then the twins decided they didn't want to sleep through the night, right around New Year's ish, maybe just before that. So I'm enjoying the vacation by staying up till like 11:30, 12 o'clock, and then they're up at like 2 and 4 and whatever.
Guys, why
so.
couldn't you be up 2 hours earlier?
It's like we need to shift that back. So that was really hard because it just led to days where I'm like, I have no capacity left for my kids, and so just realizing that it's something I need to make better in the near future. Like even trying to get like trying to do more intense like chiropractic care and stuff like that. And one of the things these scans for is like, I don't remember the exact wording for it, but it was basically like how much of a reserve of like you have to give basically, and then the bottom like part of the graph is like when you're in like fight or flight, like adrenaline kicking in when you're resting, and like where do you fall? And I'm in like low reserve and like always in fight or flight. So I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, because like I literally like will feel my heart racing when I get up at night to get a kid. It's like adrenaline kicking in where I'm like, I don't need that right now, but my body's like wigging out. So
Yeah.
the lack of actual like sleep and that kind of stuff was not great, but
Yeah.
just being present and just showing up and being there with my kids like was, I think, really great. I enjoyed it for the most part.
And
When they were
got
trying to
really
kill
cool
themselves,
I know.
and I got new shoes. That was
Come
another high
through.
because never had Air Jordans before, so I'm very excited.
Never too late either. Never too late. Never out of style. Never too late. Awesome. Thank you guys for sharing. I really was thinking about this morning.
So he has a
Oh,
hand.
yes.
Cinnamon Butter
I see that hand.
texted me about an online link to get to the meeting. He said there wasn't one online. He just texted asking.
Is that Matt
Oh,
Kemp?
Chris is here.
Yeah, she's
And
on her
Taylor
tour.
orientation.
And Taylor.
Taylor.
They're right up there.
Next week they'll be right in here.
If they make it through.
If
Did
they
you guys
make
see
it
her
through
new
today.
kicks? Oh, her white Air Maxes. She's
She has white Air.
Yes, she inspires me.
She gave me the highest compliment ever. She commented on my Dusty Peach Air Force Ones. She sent me a text. She's like, "Those shoes, yes."
I was distracted
We need to turn this
all
on.
during worship that Sunday morning. Man, I'm just like
My dusty peach.
Yeah, they're Dusty Peach.
That's the color there,
she
Dusty
used to
Peach.
say,
I love it. It's just so pretty.
I love them. There they are.
There's a dusty peach.
Dusty Peach. Seems like a nickname.
It was so Dusty Peach.
Somebody
Reminds me of a bridesmaid's dress I wore once. The color was dusty rose, and it was as bad as it sounds. Because who wants a dusty
Like pink,
rose?
but kind of dingy and like looks like it's slightly
I
dirty.
feel like that
Like
color's a
old-
trend right now.
It is. I was
Well,
like,
Dusty
that's
Rose.
the color I wore to my sister's wedding.
She was,
No.
she was like,
Mauve.
that's my color for 2019. So.
No, it was like
Wait, what is it?
2019, that's her word, is Dusty Rose.
What is the official color? for
Bernard's is
2019?
Dusty Peach.
There's a color for every.
Every year, yeah.
That's not looking way worse.
Oh,
For how long?
That's the color of his shoes.
For
I can't. It was mauve.
Sorry, I'm getting nervous.
That was our house when we moved in.
And
It's like,
Is it Pantones?
it's one of
It's
my
cool.
favorite
The
movies.
shoes,
It's amazing.
color.
We saw it again. Brittany wanted to see it her second time, me and the boys the third time. And I'm like, it's just as good, if not better, seeing it again.
This is this year's
We
color.
might want to
Cool.
go see it again, but
living.
Say that
Living.
again.
did you add the
Totally. No, yeah.
much?
We got some
Is it on-
movie
oh, that's
ticket,
fine.
like,
Pinto?
stuff for Christmas. So, like, we're used
All
to it.
this techie
Oh,
stuff.
so much.
This year's color is living coral.
Living coral.
I feel like sometimes it's better to ask for forgiveness and permission. What if I just kind of schedule the pastor suite so nobody else books it for this time, and then you can ask it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Can you edit the thing and then add it onto the pastor suite for the location?
What do you mean edit it? It says join me.
But on the invite,
And last year's color was ultra.
like on the actual event on the calendar, can you add conferencing and then add it like the location
I did. There's the pastor suite is there.
on the invite? Okay.
Kept me up. Like I was sitting in my bed.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's just we're doing this right now. The worship room and the pastor suite.
I'm really glad that you
But a
did
couple
that.
of
pastor
years
suite.
ago,
And it's only like
And there's a
3 months
Oh, yeah.
instead of like every year.
Mm.
That looks
It's not as bad as years.
But yeah, I can see coral.
But yeah, that. Oh my
Is it just one person?
Yeah.
You want to just call him?
Yeah.
No, I was like, that's like, looks legit scary.
So they have the past ones.
Who
Oh,
has-
this year, 2016. I feel like I did see that.
I feel like both of those were 2000.
Sorry, trying to find it. Oh, good.
2010. Because that's when I went to college.
It was fun.
I don't know.
It was great. It took me like 3 hours to
Oh, shit.
I kept going back. Oh no, I went through multiple things.
Like we're in a good
To where I
direction.
felt like it
Yeah.
finally got to the right ending.
The right
Like,
direction.
Which one did you
9-4.
consider?
like that, they're like, when he gained
Oh, it was in
release
951.
Oh, when
and
it.
like was popular, but then got pushed because of the story.
Yeah.
And they talked about
I
reviving
have a
it
random
in
question.
2018.
The
Did
girl,
anyone
the girl
else see
programmer,
that?
the daughter.
and
So
she's
it's
like,
only with a Stephanie and a
Yep, I
Stephanie.
just
That
looked
was-
at it.
Yeah.
Darn it!
No,
I
it's
saw
like-
that.
their name wrong?
That was my
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah, he
It's
said
like-
she spelled my name
You're
wrong.
like, hey.
I meant to just reply
I'll
to
do
you,
the
and I
Netflix
said
and
reply, not like reply all. I said to that, just go to everybody. She's like, I don't think so.
I did that
Yeah.
first. I was like, yeah.
I was like,
Yay.
dang,
But
more
you know, that's
information.
good information for everyone to
I
have.
wonder
But
if
how all like
I don't know if you can.
No,
she was like,
Yeah,
under
just-
control.
And it wasn't like a
Mhm.
big deal, but it's just like, you don't need to send me
Yeah,
correction.
it's
And then when you go like,
And then by me saying you don't need to send me
Don't see
correction,
your
I was
computer
sending
and
the
it's like-
correction.
That's why she didn't have to send it back.
And I was, yeah.
That's what
That's
bad
been
though,
making
because when
choose
she
all the
does
stuff
mail
she's like,
merges on CCD, she has to check.
Camera is off.
If
That's
she's
it.
You got it.
done, then it'll
How
automatically
do you
go to
see
every
him?
request.
I did
So
that so many times.
She wanted me to call
Skip
this
past
because
this part.
she can very
Or
easily
when you
change.
chopping up.
She said she didn't know. So like I said,
But then you have to,
everybody
for it to not get done.
or something.
Um,
But then, like,
Amber's
sometimes
getting
remember
this
to
sorted
do
out.
that.
Thank you, Amber.
Copied my response and I was like,
What I'd like to do is a really quick,
get like moving
a really
back to
quick
the budget.
debrief of Christmas Eve at your campus
Oh yeah, that was a thing.
and
That happens.
Christmas Eve at your campus, and then the weekend after, where we just got to do some fun solo out stuff. Hopefully it was fun. Awesome. We have you on voice. We don't know what we're doing with everything else, but if you
Alright,
can,
sounds good.
if you can hear us,
Yeah, I can.
okay. All right, we're gonna try to get the camera.
That's fine.
We're gonna go around and just kind of give a really quick debrief of Christmas Eve and the week after at your campus. So, I would just, I think an important part of evaluation is celebration first. We gravitate towards the negative. I think Christmas Eve had its challenges, but I've heard really positive things from several campus pastors who've emailed me and Adam Atchison just about the experience at their campus. You know, Jeff White was one of them, and he just talked about the family feel of the service and just how much it resonated with the people at Moreno Valley. And then I got feedback similar to that from someone at East Valley. It wasn't Adam, but someone else there. But I would just love to hear from your perspective. I know Woodcrest, you guys had challenges with inputs and all that, but it still looked like it went really well. So I'll speak and then you can add. Hunter Park I thought went great. Eddie was phenomenal and funny, and we had packed services all 3 times. Aurelio was great at hosting. I think Aurelio's realness and just his authenticity is going to be such a dynamic hit at Hunter Park, because it's where we get the most, hey, let's check this out. There's no pretense to Aurelio whatsoever. He's just who he is, and I love that. We had lots of, Addison, Eddie had his kids, Matt Ritchie had his family up there on stage, Adam Arts had some of his family. I felt like that was a really sweet moment just to have our kids up there with us. Ken, Brian, it didn't matter what we did, like angels, but it was funny. It was a sweet moment. The one funny thing that did happen was, I think it was the second service when Matt and Brittany came up with their kids. Their kids kind of trailed up a little bit later, because they're bringing so many people. And then some other people just decided, oh, I'll send my kid up there. So we just had 2 random kids come up there.
They're like walking across the stage.
All those kids coming up, they're bringing kids.
So we get to the Real Focus transition, and I go to the middle of the stage, and there's a little girl just like, but it was a real moment. I was like, hi, sweetie, like, do you need help? Like, and her mom's like, she's with me. I'm like, okay, well, you didn't think through the child care effects after this, did you, Mom? But it was funny, and it was good. The video, I thought the Jenny Trees video was just really powerful, and just the whole packaging of that. I thought, obviously, I thought Adam did a really, really great job. He was at 12 minutes every service. I was like, nailed it. So that was really cool, and I thought engagement in the room was really strong throughout the entire service. So I think that the songs were like, yeah, we know this, and when we got to little parts that were different, it was very easy to just, oh yeah, like I can sing that. So I thought it was really great, and Eddie had good food here, which we were thankful
Did you
for.
make steak?
No,
Sandwiches, Costco sandwiches.
that's right. That's like what
Those croissant sandwiches, dude.
It was like so much.
Did you have anything to add?
No, that's great.
You were really funny during the family scene.
Yeah.
Like you killed that.
Yeah,
And
the
then you
family
started
scene.
singing in accents and stuff.
I'm just going back. I'm sorry. What day is it?
Singing an accent?
Trying to remember
No, you
which
sang-
pack it was.
Angels! Yeah, it was very funny.
Trying to remember which
Oh, like a
reality
Santa
was,
Claus
which pack.
accent.
No, like come on, give us your best.
Like it was like Christmas Carol.
Angels! And everyone they went along with it, so everybody did it. Yeah, it was funny.
Sorry, it's all a blur right now.
Matt Ritchie also did a great job as our band
Michael
leader.
McDonald sings trap music.
He helped me on,
Oh my gosh.
what's the last song we did again?
Here comes
Here
heaven.
comes heaven.
All blur.
He stayed in my ear that whole time. 1, 2. I was like, there I am.
4, 5,
There-
6.
Yep. Which I needed.
Adam
I was
and
like,
Ken loved
It's
it.
6 beats between every phrase.
Adam and Ken loved that. They just appreciate it. So
Oh, I appreciate
they let me
it.
know.
I
Whenever
wish
we
I
go
had
back
a
on stage, they're
recording
like,
of you saying that in my
5,
ear.
6. Thanks, guys.
I was like, I never want that to stop. Just keep going,
I
because
know.
I need
No,
that.
I
in my
got
ear.
spoiled because I'd only ever sang that song with him in my ear, and then I did it
And then you
without
didn't
him.
have it.
Those training
I was still
training
there in
wheels were
spirit.
taken off. And it was me and Kenny.
Okay, sorry. It's supposed to be quick. Sorry, Danny. Your debrief of Christmas Eve.
Oh, Christmas Eve, we had a really fun team, like a really great team. And it was just like a bunch of like people like I'm friends with, and we all love each other and stuff. So it was kind of cool. The team did really good with a lot of like information and just kept kind of rolling with it and were really flexible. Just I think it was one of those moments where I was just like I'm really proud of our worship team, like our band and just their proficiency, attitude, and all of that was just really phenomenal. Especially because there's a couple moments where we were all like, "Wow, crap, what do we do?" And they just did really well, and then kind of laughed it off and moved on and weren't. They didn't carry it with them. Family sing along moment was fun. Like Fredo and his kids came up because we were none of us. I mean, Scotty Tillery was literally the only child on the band, and so we borrowed some babies and
kids,
families, and so that was fun. And they did all of the background stuff. So we sang like Jingle Bells, and then they were doing all of the like tags. It was just funny. I think it was definitely a moment where I was like, okay, in 2018 we're changing some things and we need to move towards some just a different standard of excellence when it comes to production and some of those things. That was, I think, the most just kind of frustrating part. First service went really great. Second service was, I felt like, in being totally honest, it felt like we went out there and they just kind of left us like hanging, and there's a couple missed cues, and we were trying to communicate with them and like asking them to do things, and they just were straight up not responding or doing anything. So I think that was kind of frustrating. That was the last service of the day. So I just took a lot of notes of like these are things that we want to move forward on, and plan to connect with Curtis and get after those things this next year, because it's now just like a pattern, and then Christmas Eve was like a moment like, oh, that's like a cool deal. So, but that was really the only bummer. Like, was just like some production things, but everything else was pretty good.
Good.
Bernard was worship leader.
You go ahead.
And he did just such a great job. I don't know if I got a chance to tell you this, so I'll say no, but just all of the legwork beforehand, just communication with the band, making sure that everybody was in the loop with songs, finding kids, finding each other's name, Jesus loves me. It's just not being proximity, that distance. It was a little tough, but he did such a great job. She was a little terrified. She was a little scared. But no, Bernard just did a really great job leading the band and in the room. So we had Kenny on drums, we had Steve on bass, Nick on electric. It's the first time I played with him. He hopped in last minute and did a really great job. Really great job. And then Janelle was with us on vocals. So it was interesting. Everything during sound check and rehearsal was great.
Yes.
And then Joy of the World started, and I think it was a combination of, in my mind, I had like 3 versions of Joy of the World going on for some reason. And we were off, and so by the time we got to the...
Okay, she's being gracious. You were playing the right thing. Yes. The issue was the click started because we didn't do Selah just because we tried to do it didn't work. So we started Joy to the World. Rehearsal went well. The click came on, and then Kenny started playing. He started playing something that I'd never.
It was a new song before.
Yeah,
hey, you know what? Song says.
He played a new song, and so that was hard because we're like, what is he playing. Not only was he playing something different, he wasn't playing on click at all. So we were.
I have
didn't know
diarrhea
what
right now. I mean, not really.
This
but
is
like,
the only instrument I came out there with. So I was
She
just like,
talks to her.
and so.
it's making me so nervous for you. Like, ah.
Christina was she like there's a moment when you close your
Christina was
eyes
like-
and she closed her eyes, and then I'm clapping and I'm turning to tell him to cut the click and he's just like his head is down and so I'm clapping and and then he finally lifts his head. I'm like and then he's like and he cuts the click and then we
landed when we hit that first. We will sing joy. We were all there. We landed.
So all
we
of this
sang
happened
joy.
in that first verse?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
It was like
But
we will sing joy.
yeah,
And
everyone's still walking in. I mean, it was the room was packed.
it was
Great.
It
praise
was
God.
so cool seeing people I hadn't seen on weekends there.
Mhm.
You know that they're coming for the first time. It's Christmas Eve. They're living from the mountain. I mean, just like grandmas and
I
aunts.
did see a
and
couple people
uncles
put
and-
in their earbuds, but
Yeah,
grace about.
it was sweet. The family sing along time was great. We had Steve had almost his whole family.
Oh.
He was hosting his family at Christmas Eve, and so he left his family and came, and then they all came for service.
Sweet.
So I think for I don't know. I just felt like for some of it's been like 3 months, 4 months with this transition. Just I felt really hopeful. Felt like there was life. Just excited for what's to come there. Yeah, and then Here Comes Heaven. I turn and I see Bernard getting ready to sing, and he's got tears in his eyes, getting ready to start that first verse. I was like, don't. It was my last song.
I refuse.
Bernard.
Trying to eat her vegetables.
But it was sweet. It was just a sweet night, like a sweet service. I felt like everybody was encouraged and was glad to be there. And I was just appreciative to the band because a lot of them left their families to come and to serve, and they were happy to be there. It wasn't like, oh, this is a chore. Like, they were excited to be there. And then it was funny because they're like, well, my kids are older. I was like, yeah, they can come up. And they were so excited that, like, their older kids can come up and sing with us. And so it was just, it was cool.
And Pastor Ian, I will just say this, he did such an amazing job.
He did.
Love it.
He did.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. I mean, I felt like he had the room. He was just holding
Good,
it.
good. That's awesome.
So cool.
Love it.
Cash, you can hop in on any of this too. This is
Oh,
Morgan
yeah.
speaking. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
I felt like Chris.
Soaking in.
I felt like
Can
Chris.
you turn the volume up on here? That green.
Really, at Woodcraft, it was really stripped down, which I think was actually kind of nice, and I think people understood and enjoyed it because they were anticipating what was coming this week and next week, and so I think they almost like savored the simplicity of what we got. Morgan did a great job rolling with some changes that I threw in at the last second, just with arrangements.
The song too.
Because there's 8,000 versions of like Joy to the World. I was so worried I was going to start with the wrong rhythm or the wrong version. So I just started with the new stuff, like all the new changes. I just started the song on vamping whatever was new to the ear so that I made sure I didn't mess up and the audience had a chance to become familiar with it before they, before it came up in the song. So that all worked out and everyone kind of rolled with the punches. I actually played Jesus Loves Me in the wrong key. I forgot to move my capo, and Morgan nailed that in a key she'd never sung it in before too.
And so did
So
the
I was just throwing curveballs. I was throwing curveballs at Morgan the whole time, and she was just hitting them out of the park.
You
That's
passed your,
because she's a professional.
you passed your initiation, Morgan. Welcome
David
to
threw
Woodcrest.
us some curveballs too, but we.
I was just gonna say, how was David?
Oh yeah, okay. The congregation did start clapping at like what can only be described as we're trying to screw us up. Like that's how bad.
Right.
Joy to the World. We had
That's
someone.
Sam's church.
She was
Yes.
clapping on the 1 and the 3, and she was so excited to be the clapper, the leader in the congregation. So we.
And everyone went with her. Everyone was like, "Yeah, we're with her."
Oh.
Matt Cash like wrong team.
I was stomping my foot on the stage really loudly, like where they should be clapping, because it was driving me crazy.
Yeah, we got there eventually.
Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I thought the family feel was also really cool. Just in general, I felt like it like broke down walls. That
Our kids weren't well behaved.
Yeah, no. Well, yours especially.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt like it broke down walls, so especially like Woodcrest. I think there's a little bit more of like that reach out that you have to be like we can be friends. Like this isn't a show, this isn't a concert, and I felt like that really was a proactive way of communicating that, and I really liked how it cultivated the like general vibe of the room. So I liked the whole family feel a lot.
Love it. Awesome.
I agree with the family feel was awesome. The medley was like my favorite part. I don't mean to knock like the rest of the set. It was awesome.
You had a packed stage for that
had
too.
A lot, and I was worried we weren't gonna have anybody. But yeah, we invited them and they showed up. And there's one family in our church that they recently, like the father of the family passed away a few weeks ago, and his daughter was singing on Christmas Eve. That was her first time singing on the platform, which was like, yeah, have fun, like, really awesome. But their whole family came up, and like with their family and our families, and like it was really cool. Like everybody appreciated. I almost thought it was like almost a burden asking some people like, hey, would you come, because we want to kind of, and afterwards they're like, thank you for letting us on. Even my Kendra's mom, who and her dad, I don't see them sing very much ever, but they went up and they're like, yeah, it was really cool, thanks for letting us be up there. And the service went really well, which was a shock to me, because everything before was like I was about to lose my mind, because like Thursday did not go well. I did get into an argument with my brother in front of half of the worship team, which was a blast, because Here Comes Heaven, and
Yes.
yeah,
I get,
so that was great. And then, so yeah, from then to Sunday, like I just had this, or to Monday or whatever, I just had this like heaviness about like the whole thing. I was just telling Kendra, like, I can't wait till like this is over, you know, like I'm so done with this. And then we got there, and everybody was really unsure of like everything, so I felt like everything was on me, like doing the leads and doing the rhythm, and then everybody's asking about their parts, and like nobody, like a lot of people didn't really figure stuff out. So then run through felt weird, and having all of our families there to witness run through going terribly just made it a whole lot better. But then we went and we just prayed with each other, and you know, God's awesome, like, because it just like came together. We cut the vocal track, the track for Selah, because it just, things were going wrong. But Anna was like, she did so well with that part. It was great. She came in, she was like excited she had been practicing like all week, and she showed up and just did it. I'm just like, what the heck, is so great.
So good.
And it sounded way better like without the track, because he had like the vocalist like showed up, you know. So that was cool, and we hit Joy to the World from then on. Like it, like the beginning of that like kind of pumped everybody up, and it kind of that momentum.
Yeah. Cool.
That's great. Anna's been coming in clutch. She was there for me when Krista and Pastor Chris and Tara didn't come on stage at the end of service, and I had to do it by myself.
What?
And call offering and sing What a Beautiful Name Indeed.
That's right.
My last service, Tara fell asleep backstage, and then Pastor Chris and Krista were outside talking about Christmas Eve because this was Sunday before Christmas Eve, and you know they're doing the reverse offering, so they're talking about changes in that. And so Claude's praying, and so I come on stage, and then Anna gets on stage, and then Jason's on the drums, and then
I gotta play.
the lights come on, and then she starts playing what we were going to be, and so I'm like, I guess I'll call offering. I'm looking at Rocky like trying to give him eyes, and he's like, and so I'm calling offering, and I'm stretching. No Krista, and so I just start singing What a Beautiful Name, and I didn't think about singing it the octave lower, so I'm singing.
Bernard, you're the one person who can sing in any key, and everyone's like, oh my gosh.
And so I'm singing it, and then I'm thinking in my head, I was like, what am I going to do for the bridge? And as soon as the bridge comes, Krista comes out, and so
you have no right.
Did they play it then?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love this shirt.
Singing coming across stage.
And I'm like,
So they're like, kicks on it.
Thank you, Jesus. And then she finishes.
Had to get the wire harness
Dr.
on.
Chris comes out and does the call to action, like nothing ever happens, and he does the call to action. I'm like, what in the?
Bernard's like, oh, I'm gonna talk to you too.
Oh yeah, we did. And then Rocky he runs up while I'm singing the song, and then Pastor Chris is there, and he's like, I just kept thinking, what are you gonna do at the bridge? I was like, I don't know. We'll
Sing
see.
it out, San Bernardino. You sing it.
But yeah, that. And Anna was looking at me like, and I was trying to like to learn the key. She just kept going. I was like, all right, we gonna do
She's
this
like,
now.
I learned this in E. I'm gonna stay right in
Oh,
E.
yeah, she was there.
She was there.
Yeah.
Wait, well,
We got through it.
that's how you cut your teeth as a worship leader.
Always a really right?
Always.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for just all of the work that you put into making Christmas Eve happen. I mean, it was a big undertaking to take one service and recreate it at 9 campuses, even having live worship at Montclair. And I haven't heard anything bad about it, so Becca's a professional, and
Yeah.
Brett was so happy to have someone there. But to take one service and recreate it was a challenge, I think. But I think that you guys really rose to the challenge and made